If you can train your mind to stay clear under pressure, you can win in any situation. It doesn't matter how talented you are, how much potential you have, or how many opportunities come your way. If your mind is weak, all of it will collapse the moment life gets difficult. Every day, the battles you fight begin in your head. Before your body gives up, your mind quits. Before you speak words that damage relationships, your thoughts spiral. Before you abandon a dream, your mind convinces you it's impossible. If you want to win in anything, you must start with the battlefield inside your head. Most people ignore this truth. They search for strategies, shortcuts, and external solutions. They try new apps, buy new tools, chase new routines. They think the answer is out there somewhere. But they never look inside at the one thing that truly determines success or failure: their mindset. A distracted mind wastes talent. A fearful mind avoids opportunity. A fragile mind crumbles under stress. And until you learn to control your thoughts, no tactic or trick will save you. But here's the good news. Mental toughness is not something you're born with. It is not a gift given only to the chosen few. It is a skill, a discipline, a practice. Just like muscles grow stronger when you train them, your mind becomes sharper and tougher when you put it through the right exercises. You don't have to accept weakness. You can build resilience. You can train focus. You can strengthen discipline. You can create a mindset that bends but never breaks. This is what separates those who rise from those who fall. Not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. Not the absence of doubt, but the refusal to obey it. Not the absence of hardship, but the ability to endure it. The people you admire, the athletes who perform under pressure, the leaders who stay calm in crisis, the creators who persist through rejection, are not superhuman. They have simply trained their minds to act with clarity when others collapse. And so the question is, will you? Will you keep living at the mercy of your thoughts, distracted, discouraged, defeated? Or will you decide today to train your mind as seriously as you train your body, your career, your ambitions? Because until you do, you will always stop short of your potential. But when you do, you will discover a new level of strength, a calm that carries you through chaos, and a focus that no distraction can break. This journey is not about quick fixes or motivational highs. It's about building a foundation that lasts. It's about rewiring how you think, how you act, how you respond to the world around you. It's about forging a mental toughness that stands firm in the storms of life. Over the next sections, you will learn how to own your mornings instead of surrendering them to chaos, how to protect your focus from a world designed to steal it, how to build toughness by choosing discomfort instead of ease, how to keep promises to yourself, how to discipline your thoughts, and how to repeat the basics until strength becomes second nature. By the end of this, you will no longer need to wait for motivation or inspiration. You will have trained your mind to act regardless of feeling, to focus regardless of noise, to endure regardless of pain. And when you can do that, when you can control your mind, you can win in any situation. That is the training ahead, and it begins now. Own your day. The moment you wake up, your mind is vulnerable. It's like soft clay, ready to be shaped. Most people hand that clay to the world. They check their phone, scroll through messages, let news, headlines, and social media posts dictate how they feel. Within minutes, they've surrendered control. Their thoughts are scattered, their emotions hijacked, their focus stolen before the day even begins. And then they wonder why they feel behind, stressed, and unproductive. They started the day as servants, not masters. If you want to train your mind to win, you must claim your mornings. You must decide that the first hour of your day belongs to you, not your boss, not your friends, not the endless stream of distractions. To own your day, you start by owning your morning. The first battle is with your alarm. When it rings, do you rise or do you negotiate? That small choice determines more than you realize. Every time you hit snooze, you teach your mind that comfort matters more than commitment. Every time you get up immediately, you train your mind to act with discipline, even when it's inconvenient. It may seem insignificant, but these small victories create momentum. Win the first decision of the day, and you set the tone for everything that follows. Once you're up, resist the pull of your phone. The world can wait. Instead, create space for clarity. Sit in silence, meditate, pray, or simply breathe. Take a few minutes to anchor your thoughts before the flood of noise begins. Ask yourself, what matters most today? What must I accomplish to call this day a victory? These questions sharpen your focus and remind you that you, not external distractions, direct your life. Then move your body. It doesn't matter if it's a workout, a run, a stretch, or a few push-ups. The point isn't perfection, it's practice. Physical movement in the morning signals to your brain, I am in control. It generates energy, wakes up your mind, and proves that you can do hard things before the world demands anything from you. Next, feed your mind. Read something challenging. Listen to something inspiring. Write down your thoughts. The first input you give your brain each day matters. Garbage in, garbage out. Wisdom in, wisdom out. Protect the gate of your mind by choosing carefully what enters it in the morning. This practice builds mental discipline and gives you strength to face the rest of the day. Finally, identify your priorities. Too many people confuse being busy with being effective. They let the urgent crowd out the important. But if you train your mind to choose wisely, you'll focus on what truly matters. Write down the 1 or 2 things that, if accomplished, would make this day a success. Then commit to them. This simple practice keeps your thoughts aligned with your purpose. Owning your day isn't about rigid routines or unrealistic standards. It's about control. It's about refusing to surrender your mind to distractions and demands before you've even had a chance to think. When you own your morning, you train your mind to lead instead of follow. And when your mind learns to lead, your life begins to change. So tomorrow, when the alarm rings, remember this: the first battle of the day decides the war. Will you start in control, or will you start in chaos? Own your morning, and you will own your day. Protect your focus. In today's world, distraction is the default. Every notification, every headline, every alert is designed to hijack your attention. Companies spend billions to pull your eyes to their screens, to keep your mind hooked on things that don't matter. And most people give in. They allow their attention, the most valuable resource they have, to be stolen piece by piece until nothing is left for what truly matters. If your mind is scattered, your results will be scattered. If your focus is fractured, your strength is fractured. A weak focus creates a weak life. But a trained focus, a disciplined focus, can make you unstoppable. The ability to lock onto one task, one goal, one challenge, and refuse to be moved, that is the mark of a strong mind. Start by controlling your environment. Don't rely on willpower to resist distraction. Remove it. Silence your phone. Turn off notifications. Close the tabs. Create a space where your attention has nowhere to go but the work in front of you. This isn't weakness, it's strategy. Strong minds know their limits and design their environment for victory. Then train your brain to concentrate. Focus is like a muscle. At first, it will shake, wander, resist. But the more you practice bringing it back, the stronger it grows. Begin with short bursts of deep work, 20 minutes of total focus on one thing, then rest, then repeat. Over time, you'll find that your ability to concentrate stretches further and further. What once felt impossible becomes natural. Protect your focus by saying no. Every request, every invitation, every distraction disguised as opportunity has a cost. Weak minds say yes to everything and wonder why they're exhausted. Strong minds guard their time like treasure. Learn to say no with clarity, without guilt. Every no is really a yes to something more important. Finally, direct your focus toward what matters. Don't waste your attention on gossip, negativity, or problems outside your control. Focus on what you can do, what you can build, what you can improve. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. And when your energy flows into the right places, results follow. Protecting your focus is not just about productivity, it's about power. It's about taking back control of your mind from a world that profits from your distraction. When you own your focus, you own your future. Train your mind to guard it fiercely and you'll accomplish more than you ever imagined. Build toughness. Life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your path, knock you down, and dare you to get back up. Most people avoid discomfort at all costs. They chase ease, convenience, and comfort. And because of that, their minds remain fragile. The moment things get hard, they break. If you want a mind that can endure, you must do the opposite. You must seek out discomfort. You must deliberately place yourself in situations that stretch you, challenge you, even hurt you. Because toughness is not built in comfort, it's built in struggle. The gym is a perfect example. When you lift a weight that feels heavy, your muscles tear and rebuild stronger. The same is true for your mind. When you do things that are uncomfortable, waking up early, speaking in public, tackling difficult tasks, you are training your mind to endure pressure. Each time you face discomfort and refuse to quit, you become tougher. Each time you push beyond your limit, you raise the bar for what you can handle. Start small, take a cold shower, go for a run when you don't feel like it. Speak up in a meeting when fear tells you to stay silent. These acts may seem minor, but they are resistance training for your mind. They teach you that you can feel discomfort and still act, that you can be afraid and still move forward, that you can hurt and still keep going. Toughness is not about pretending. Pain doesn't exist. It's about refusing to let pain control you. It's not about being fearless. It's about acting despite fear. It's not about being invincible, it's about being unbreakable. A tough mind doesn't avoid struggle, it thrives in it. And here's the truth, life will hurt you, you will fail, you will be rejected, you will face setbacks. You don't get to choose whether or not you suffer, but you do get to choose how you respond. Weak minds complain, quit, or hide. Tough minds rise, learn, and adapt. The more you practice toughness in small things, the more prepared you'll be when life hits you with the big things. So make discomfort your training ground. Embrace challenges instead of avoiding them. Choose the harder path when you can. Each time you do, you're building a layer of toughness that will protect you when the storms come, because they will come. And when they do, the tough will stand while the fragile fall. To train your mind to win, you must build toughness daily. Seek out the hard things, lean into the pain, and remind yourself, comfort doesn't make you stronger. Struggle does. Say what you mean. Words are powerful. They shape relationships, create trust, and build reputations. But most people throw them around carelessly. They say things they don't mean to impress others. They make promises they don't intend to keep. They avoid honesty because they fear discomfort. And every time they do this, they weaken their own mind. Because when your words and your actions don't align, you teach yourself that your voice doesn't matter. Training your mind to win requires integrity between thought, word, and deed. It requires speaking with clarity and living in a way that backs up what you say. Weak minds bend their words to fit the moment. Strong minds say what they mean, even if it costs them approval, even if it creates tension, even if it makes them stand alone. When your words are true and your actions prove them, your mind grows stronger. You no longer waste energy pretending. You no longer dilute your focus with lies. You live aligned, and alignment creates power. Start with promises to yourself. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll just skip this once"? Each broken word chips away at your confidence. Each lie you tell yourself makes your mind weaker. If you want strength, you must keep your word, especially when nobody else is watching. Tell yourself you'll wake up early, then do it. Tell yourself you'll finish the task, then complete it. Small acts of honesty with yourself build unshakable trust. And when you trust yourself, your mind becomes unbreakable. Then extend that honesty to others. Say what you believe, not what you think people want to hear. If something matters, speak it. If you disagree, own it. Stop hiding behind half-truths. Yes, honesty is uncomfortable. Yes, it may create conflict. But every time you choose honesty over ease, you build toughness. You train your mind to stand firm in truth rather than collapse into people-pleasing. Your words also train your identity. If you constantly say, "I can't," your mind will believe it. If you say, "I'm lazy," you'll act lazy. But if you say, "I'm disciplined," "I'm resilient," "I finish what I start," your mind begins to embody those truths. Language is not just description, it is creation. Speak with strength, and you will live with strength. Of course, words alone are not enough. They must be followed by action. Empty talk is weakness disguised as strength. Don't say you're committed, show it. Don't say you'll change, prove it. The alignment between speech and action is what makes your mind disciplined. When your words and deeds match, you gain confidence. You know that what you say matters because you've made it real. There is freedom in this kind of honesty. You no longer carry the weight of pretending. You no longer fear being exposed because there is nothing to hide. Your mind becomes lighter, clearer, stronger. You can look in the mirror and know, "I mean what I say, and I live what I speak." So train your mind with your words. Stop making empty promises. Stop saying yes when you mean no. Stop lying to yourself about what you will or won't do. Speak with clarity, speak with truth, and then back those words with action. Do this consistently and you'll discover that honesty is not weakness, it is strength. A strong mind doesn't just think clearly, it speaks clearly. And when you can say what you mean and live what you say, you train your mind to win in every situation. Finish what you start. Starting is easy. Ideas are exciting in the beginning, energy is high, and motivation carries you through the first steps. But as soon as the novelty wears off, most people quit. They leave projects half done, goals half reached, promises half kept. And every time they abandon something they began, they train their mind to accept quitting as normal. A weak mind loves starting but hates finishing. A strong mind refuses to leave things undone. Completion is not about perfection, it's about discipline. It's about proving to yourself that when you commit, you follow through. Because every unfinished task lingers in your mind like an open wound. It drains energy, it erodes confidence, it whispers, "You don't finish things." And the more often you quit, the louder that voice becomes. But when you finish what you start, even small things, you train your mind to believe, "I am the kind of person who sees things through." That belief is power. Think about the difference between writing one chapter of a book and completing the entire book. The first feels exciting, but without the second, it's meaningless. Now think about going to the gym for a week versus sticking to the plan for 6 months. The first is a burst of effort. The second is transformation. Anyone can begin. The winners are those who endure long enough to finish. So how do you build this mindset? First, stop chasing too many starts. Focus your energy on fewer commitments, then pour yourself into them. Scatter your efforts across too many projects, and you'll finish none. A disciplined mind knows that completion matters more than variety. Second, break big goals into smaller checkpoints. Finishing a marathon seems impossible when you focus on the whole distance. But when you focus on running to the next mile marker, then the next, and keep going until you cross the finish line, you prove to yourself that you can endure. Completion is built step by step. Third, build accountability into your commitments. Tell someone what you're working on. Share deadlines. Let others see your progress. When others know what you started, you feel the weight of responsibility to complete it, and that pressure strengthens your resolve. Fourth, learn to push through boredom. Most people quit not because something is impossible, but because it becomes dull. The excitement fades, and they mistake boredom for a reason to stop. But finishing requires doing the boring work too, the repetitions, the details, the consistency that no one celebrates. When you push through boredom, you build mental endurance. Finally, celebrate completions. Each time you finish, you reinforce the identity of a finisher. Whether it's crossing a finish line, publishing a project, or simply checking off a task, acknowledge it. Tell your mind, "This is who I am. I don't leave things undone." Remember, starting proves nothing. Finishing proves everything. The world is full of dreamers who began with energy, but disappeared when it got hard. The few who remain, the few who finish, are the ones who succeed. Don't let your mind accept quitting as an option. Train it to demand completion. Begin with small promises and finish them. Then move to bigger ones. Over time, you'll transform from someone who quits when it's inconvenient into someone who finishes no matter what. And when you finish what you start, you not only build results, you build a mind that can win in every situation. Fix your mindset. When things go wrong, and they will, your reaction will determine whether you recover or collapse. Most people let setbacks define them. They face failure and immediately think, "I'm not good enough. This always happens. I'll never succeed." That mindset becomes a prison. Instead of learning, they label themselves. Instead of adapting, they accept defeat. A weak mind sees problems as proof of inadequacy. A strong mind sees problems as opportunities to grow. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world. If the lens is cracked, everything looks broken. If the lens is clear, even challenges look navigable. Fixing your mindset means training yourself to interpret struggle differently. It means replacing destructive thoughts with constructive ones, not toxic positivity, not pretending everything is fine, but a disciplined perspective that asks, what can I learn? How can I adapt? How can this make me stronger? When failure strikes, pause. Instead of spiraling into negativity, breathe and reframe. Tell yourself, this is feedback, not a final verdict. Athletes don't treat a single loss as the end of their career. Entrepreneurs don't treat one rejection as the end of their vision. They extract lessons, adjust strategy, and keep going. Their mindset is fixed on growth, not defeat. One powerful practice is to question your thoughts. When your mind says, "I can't," ask, "Is that true? Or is it fear speaking?" When it says, "I always fail," ask, "Always? Or did I just fail this time?" By challenging your thoughts, you weaken their control. Most of the limits you believe in exist only because you've repeated them without question. Fixing your mindset requires breaking that cycle. Another key is gratitude. When your mind is overwhelmed with problems, shift focus to what is still working. Gratitude doesn't erase struggle, but it gives perspective. It reminds you that setbacks are moments, not definitions. Even in failure, there are lessons, relationships, and strengths to be grateful for. This perspective makes your mind resilient. Surround yourself with people who reinforce a strong mindset. Negativity is contagious, but so is strength. If you spend your time with quitters, complainers, and victims, their mindset will infect yours. But if you surround yourself with fighters, learners, and doers, their resilience will strengthen you. Who you listen to shapes how you think. Fixing your mindset also means focusing on what you can control. Most people waste energy complaining about circumstances beyond their reach. The weather, the economy, the opinions of others, none of these are controllable. A disciplined mind accepts what it cannot change and invests fully in what it can. Effort, attitude, focus, persistence. This shift transforms frustration into progress. Above all, remember that your mindset is not fixed. It is flexible. You can train it, shape it, strengthen it. Every time you reframe failure, every time you question a negative thought, every time you choose gratitude, you are fixing your lens. And the clearer your lens becomes, the stronger your mind will be. So when life goes wrong, and it will, don't let your mind spiral into defeat. Pause, reframe, learn, adapt, surround yourself with strength. Focus on what you can control. This is how you fix your mindset. Because the battles of life are won or lost, not by what happens to you, but by how you think about what happens. And a mind trained to interpret struggle as growth is a mind that cannot be broken. Train your thoughts. Your mind is constantly producing them, thousands every day. Most people let these thoughts run wild, believing every idea, fear, or doubt that passes through. They confuse thoughts with truth, but an untrained mind is like an untrained dog. It makes a mess, runs in every direction, and pulls you where you don't want to go. To win in life, you must learn to discipline your thoughts, to direct them where you want them to go instead of letting them drag you into weakness. The first step is awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts that dominate your day. Are they negative, fearful, distracting? Do they focus on problems or possibilities? You cannot change what you won't acknowledge. Write them down if you need to. When you see your thoughts clearly, you begin to recognize patterns, and patterns can be changed. The second step is separation. Just because a thought appears doesn't mean it's true, and it doesn't mean you must obey it. Your mind may say, "Hey, I'm too tired." But that doesn't make it a fact. It may say, "I'll fail if I try." But that doesn't mean failure is guaranteed. Separate yourself from the voice in your head. Learn to say, "That's just a thought, not reality." This distance gives you control, then comes replacement. Once you've identified negative or useless thoughts, replace them with stronger ones. Instead of "I can't handle this," say, "I can take the next step." Instead of "This is too hard," say, "This is how I get stronger." Instead of "I always fail," say, "I'm still learning." These replacements aren't empty affirmations. They're strategic commands to your mind. Over time, they rewire how you respond under pressure. Another powerful practice is visualization. Train your mind to see success before it happens. Athletes use this technique before competition, imagining themselves performing perfectly. Entrepreneurs use it before presentations, seeing themselves speak with clarity. Visualization primes your thoughts for victory. When your mind has already rehearsed success, your body follows. Meditation is also a form of thought training. By focusing on your breath or a single point, you practice noticing when your mind wanders and bringing it back. This simple exercise strengthens mental discipline. The more you practice returning your thoughts to focus, the easier it becomes in daily life when distractions or fears appear. Guard your thoughts carefully. What you consume, what you watch, listen to, and read plant seeds in your mind. If you feed it negativity, your thoughts will be negative. If you feed it strength, wisdom, and inspiration, your thoughts will align with that. Training your thoughts is not just about controlling what comes from within, but also about filtering what comes from outside. Finally, practice gratitude and perspective. When your mind fixates on problems, deliberately shift to what's good. When it magnifies obstacles, remind it of victories. Gratitude doesn't ignore difficulty, but it prevents your thoughts from being dominated by it. Over time, your default thinking becomes stronger, calmer, more resilient. Your thoughts are not random, they are habits. And like any habit, they can be trained. Awareness, separation, replacement, visualization, meditation, input control, and gratitude. These are your tools. Use them daily. The more you practice, the more disciplined your thoughts will become. And when your thoughts are disciplined, your actions follow. Your emotions stabilize. Your focus sharpens. You become the master of your mind instead of its prisoner. So train your thoughts. Don't let them wander unchecked. Don't let them weaken you. Teach them where to go, how to think, how to respond, because the battles you fight are won or lost in the arena of thought. And when your thoughts are trained, your victories become inevitable. Choose better habits. Your life is shaped not by what you do once in a while, but by what you do consistently. Habits are the invisible architecture of your days. They either build strength or drain it. They either sharpen your mind or dull it. And here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. If your habits are weak, your mind will be weak. If your habits are strong, your mind will be unshakable. Most people let habits form by accident. They scroll their phones every morning, eat without thought, procrastinate on important work, and tell themselves, "It's just who I am." But identity is not fixed. It's forged by repeated action. Every habit you practice is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. When you procrastinate, you're voting for a weaker mind. When you choose discipline, you're voting for a stronger one. The question is not whether you have habits. You do. The question is whether those habits are making you stronger or weaker. To train your mind, you must choose habits deliberately. Start with one or two small ones that align with the identity you want to build. If you want resilience, choose the habit of finishing difficult tasks even when you don't feel like it. If you want clarity, choose the habit of journaling each morning. If you want focus, choose the habit of shutting off distractions during work. Small habits compound into massive results. Don't underestimate them. The key is consistency, not intensity. Anyone can meditate once, work out once, or write once. That doesn't change who you are, but when you do it daily, when it becomes automatic, your mind changes. Habits rewire your brain. They move actions from effort to identity. You're no longer someone trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined because your habits prove it. Replacing bad habits is just as important as building new ones. Weak minds cling to patterns that destroy them. Gossip, comfort, distraction, self-pity. Strong minds recognize these habits and deliberately replace them. Instead of scrolling before bed, read a book. Instead of reacting to every notification, check your messages at set times. Instead of complaining, write down what you're grateful for. Replacement, not just removal, is the path to stronger habits. Another powerful strategy is habit stacking, linking a new habit to an old one. If you already brush your teeth every morning, add a minute of affirmations right after. If you already make coffee, use those minutes to plan your top priorities. By attaching a new habit to an existing routine, you make it easier to remember and repeat. Accountability strengthens habits as well. Share your goals with someone who will hold you to them. Join a group where the culture reinforces discipline. Surround yourself with people whose habits you admire. Habits are contagious. Make sure you're catching the right ones. And remember, slipping once is not failure. A strong mind doesn't demand perfection, it demands persistence. If you miss a habit one day, start again the next. What matters is not that you never fall, but that you never stay down. Over time, persistence turns fragile attempts into unshakable patterns. Your future is hidden in your habits. Every small choice compounds, every repeated action carves a groove in your mind. Choose habits that build the identity you want. Guard against habits that weaken it. Replace what harms you with what strengthens you, and repeat them until they become automatic. Because when your habits are stronger than your moods, your excuses, and your distractions, your mind is trained to win. Do the right thing. Character is forged in the choices you make when no one is watching. Many people know what the right thing is, but they choose the easy way instead. They cut corners, tell half-truths, or avoid responsibility because they think it won't matter. But every choice trains your mind. Every time you choose the easy wrong over the difficult right, you weaken yourself. Every time you do the right thing, even when it's hard, you build strength, integrity, and resilience. Doing the right thing is not about perfection, it's about principle. It's about creating a standard for yourself that doesn't change with circumstances. A weak mind bends its morals when convenient. A strong mind holds the line even under pressure. When you live by principle, you don't waste energy debating every decision. You already know your standard and your actions follow. The right thing is often the harder thing. It means staying late to finish the work instead of leaving it for someone else. It means admitting when you're wrong instead of hiding your mistakes. It means speaking the truth when silence would be easier. These choices may feel costly in the moment, but they pay dividends in strength. Each one reinforces your identity as someone who does not break under pressure. And here's the hidden power. When you consistently do the right thing, you build trust. Others learn that your word matters. They know they can depend on you. And most importantly, you begin to trust yourself. You look in the mirror and know, I don't compromise my values. That self-trust is one of the strongest foundations for mental toughness. Doing the right thing also protects you from regret. Weak minds chase short-term comfort, only to suffer long-term consequences. They lie to escape difficulty, then live with guilt. They cheat for quick gain, then carry the shame. But when you do the right thing, even if it's hard, you never have to look back in regret. You face yourself with clarity and strength. Start small. Do the right thing in daily choices. Return the cart. Keep your word. Show up on time. Give your best effort. These small acts build integrity like bricks in a wall. Over time, that wall becomes unbreakable. Then, when life presents bigger challenges, you're ready. Your habit of doing the right thing prepares you to face them with courage. Of course, doing the right thing won't always bring applause. Sometimes it means standing alone. Sometimes it means losing approval or opportunity. No, but the strongest minds understand this truth. Respect from others is temporary. Respect for yourself is permanent. Choosing the right thing is never wasted, because it strengthens the one person you can never escape, you. So train your mind through your choices. Don't cut corners. Don't chase the easy wrong. Hold the line. Live by principle. Build trust with yourself and with others. Refuse to compromise, or even when it costs you. Because every time you do the right thing, you make your mind tougher, clearer, and more disciplined. And a mind that always does the right thing is a mind that wins, not just once, but over a lifetime. Repeat the basics. Strength is not built in occasional bursts of brilliance. It is built in consistent mastery of the fundamentals. Weak minds chase novelty. They get bored with repetition, so they abandon the basics in search of something new and exciting. But the strongest minds understand this truth. Excellence is found in the basics, repeated relentlessly until they become second nature. Think about athletes. Champions don't stop practicing the fundamentals once they master them. They drill them daily: footwork, balance, technique, over and over again. Musicians do the same, practicing scales long after they can play them perfectly. Soldiers do it with drills, rehearsing the same actions until they become automatic. Why? Because when the pressure is on, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your training. And if your training is rooted in the basics, you can't be shaken. Your mind works the same way. To train it for strength, you must return to the basics every day. Focus, discipline, gratitude, honesty, effort. These are not advanced secrets, they are simple principles, but repeated over and over, they build a foundation that nothing can break. Repetition creates identity. When you choose the basics daily, you teach your mind that this is who you are. When you wake up on time, focus deeply, keep your promises, and do the right thing, not once, but every day, you carve grooves in your mind. Over time, those grooves become the path of least resistance. What once felt like effort becomes automatic. You don't have to force yourself to act with discipline, you are disciplined. The temptation will always be to skip the basics, to think, I already know this, I need something new. But wisdom is not in knowing, it's in doing. Knowledge without repetition is useless. A weak mind collects information but never applies it. A strong mind repeats the basics until they are embodied, until they show up under pressure without thought. Start by identifying the basics that matter most to you. Maybe it's a morning routine, maybe it's daily exercise, maybe it's reading, writing, or reflecting. Choose the practices that build the identity you want, then repeat them without fail. Don't chase variety for its own sake. Chase consistency, because consistency compounds into mastery. Another key is patience. Results will not come overnight. Repetition can feel dull, even invisible. But every rep is a brick laid in the foundation of your strength. Most people quit because they don't see quick progress, but strong minds know progress is hidden in persistence. The breakthrough only comes after countless repetitions. Repetition also builds resilience. When life hits you, when stress rises, when everything feels overwhelming, you will fall back on what you've repeated. If you've practiced quitting, you'll quit. If you've practiced distraction, you'll get distracted. But if you've repeated focus, discipline, and toughness, those will carry you through. In the heat of battle, you will not have to think. You will simply act as you've trained. So embrace the basics, repeat them until they are part of you. Don't get bored with them. Don't abandon them for something flashy. Every time you return to the fundamentals, you sharpen your mind. Every repetition is a vote for the person you want to become. And over time, those votes add up to a mind that cannot be shaken. Train your mind by repeating the basics daily. Focus, discipline, effort, gratitude, honesty, over and over without fail. Do this long enough and you will become unbreakable. Because in the end, greatness is not built on secrets, it is built on the basics, repeated until you embody them. And when the basics are who you are, your mind will be prepared to win in every situation. You've learned to own your day, to protect your focus, to build toughness, to say what you mean, to finish what you start, to fix your mindset, to train your thoughts, to choose better habits, to do the right thing, and to repeat the basics. These are not tricks or shortcuts, they are disciplines. They are the foundation of a strong mind, and if you practice them daily, they will change your life. The truth is simple, life will test you. It will knock you down, distract you, discourage you, and tempt you to quit. Motivation will not save you. Inspiration will not last. But a trained mind, a mind forged in discipline, honesty, focus, and repetition, will not break. It will endure. It will adapt. It will overcome. The world is full of people who start strong but fade when pressure rises. They rely on feelings, and feelings betray them. The few who win, the few who rise, are those who have trained their minds to act regardless of mood, to stay calm in chaos, to do the right thing even when it's hard. They are not lucky. They are not chosen. They are disciplined. And here's the greatest lesson. Training your mind is not a one-time event. It is a lifetime practice. You don't graduate from discipline. You don't outgrow focus. You don't retire from toughness. Every day is another opportunity to strengthen or weaken your mind. Every choice is a rep. Every habit is a vote. Every repetition shapes who you are becoming. So keep going. Keep showing up. Keep doing the hard things. Don't let boredom make you stop. Don't let setbacks make you quit. Don't let fear make you hide. Train your mind daily, relentlessly, with intention. And in time, you will look back and realize you are no longer the same person. You will be stronger, clearer, tougher, and more resilient than you ever imagined. Remember this. You don't control the storms of life, but you do control how you face them. And a trained mind does not bow to storms. It stands firm, it learns, it grows, it conquers. That strength is available to you, not someday, not if you're lucky, but right now, if you choose to train. This is not the end of the journey. It is only the beginning, because discipline of the mind is the foundation, but persistence is the force that carries you forward. Discipline gets you to act today. Persistence keeps you acting tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, until victory is inevitable. The next stage of your training will be persistence. How to endure when progress feels invisible, how to push when results are slow, how to outlast every obstacle until success has no choice but to yield. So take what you've learned here and live it. Practice it daily. Train your mind until these principles are no longer tasks, but part of who you are. And then join me in the next step, where we'll go deeper into persistence, the unbreakable force that, combined with discipline, makes you unstoppable. Your mind is the battlefield. Train it, discipline it, strengthen it. And when persistence joins discipline, you will not just win once, you will win for a lifetime.